Hey everyone, the Wagon Wheel of Wisdom here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell notifications down below if you haven't already. Hey folks, Kevin here, and welcome back to another episode of the Wagon Wheel of Wisdom. Behind me, as usual, the beautiful wagon wheel, and hopefully still a little wisdom up here. This morning, I'm going to talk about some topics that have really taken off, more so than I really thought it was going to on the channel. And first, I'd like to also say thank you for the amount of comments that are coming out there. The one thing that I really like to see on there is, not only am I trying to convey what is up in my head out to the world here so I can sort of, document my journey along this, but if you look through the comments, there are some people that have been in this a lot longer than I have that are dropping wisdom nuggets of things and practices that they do too, that I'm looking at. It's like, wow, all right, I see where that would have some value. So it's been awesome to see that. These people are teachers too, just kind of like how I'm trying to be. So, read through the comments if you want to and extract little nuggets of wisdom, because they're out there and they are some very good ideas and concepts that have helped people along their way. And at the end of the day, that's literally what I think we're trying to do here, is help one another out to ease this process, because let's be damn real about it. It is a very hard process that takes time, and oftentimes our wants and needs of an outcome kind of stand in the way of the divine timing in all of this. So we sort of want things right now. I know I run into that, being impatient from time to time, but and not necessarily trusting in the process. But trusting in the process is so important here, and being kind and just allowing time to change you as an individual, which is going to spill into this next portion of. I'm just going to talk about the changes that I've found in my life. And one important topic, which I'll talk about towards the tail end, is celibacy and the impact that that's had. So here's some changes in my life that I've written down. I've got the notes, so I'm going to be kind of looking down. The first one, without question, has been a thirst for knowledge on the topic. I don't want to sit here and say obsessive, because I'm not entering it anymore. I was, but my thirst for knowledge always sort of looped into that area of how can I shorten this up to get my divine feminine back. And that's not the right angle that this needs to be taken in. My thirst for knowledge is actually just to learn about me and implement all of these new things into my life, these new disciplines that I'm going to speak about here, to essentially just become better, become a great version of who I am, and evolve throughout this journey. The next thing is giving. I guess in a way I'm giving by taking time to create videos like this, so you guys too can have a bit of a support system to validate a lot of the things that you might be feeling inside of you that I'm starting to convey out there. Things that I honestly had no idea would change in my life at this point in time, but I have no problems talking about it. And the other aspect is giving can be volunteering. I volunteered to go help coach my son's football team, which has been amazing. But, volunteer at homeless shelters. There's centers for kids. There's just numerous things that you can do. But this really cool giving type of attitude, which I was not necessarily reluctant, I just really never put any effort into it before. And now I feel called to do it. Another thing, and I think this is part of the death of the ego in some aspects for the divine feminine, like material things I don't care about them anymore. I would rather, purchase a book now than buy an article of clothing. I guess just that sort of mindset where lavish lifestyles and wishing I had this or wishing I had that, and not feeling fulfilled with outside factors just don't factor anymore, which has been an amazing thing. Self-care, that's changed in this aspect. Me looking in the mirror and being happy and content with what I see, instead of the old attitude. And my life coach just actually got done saying this to me. He goes, a couple months ago, like your drive was just go, go, go. You need to do this. You're not doing enough. And he said your mindset now has completely shifted into something of actual compassion for yourself. So another unique change. Waking up early, not that I've really seemingly had an option in that area, but man, I've been up at, in between 2 and 3 and 3 and 4, just a number of days. Today I actually got to sleep in a little bit, which was nice. I think I hit my alarm at 6 a.m. for the first time in a long time. But the waking up early, the quietness of those morning hours has just been such excellent medicine. I live in a city and it gets a little loud here at times. The airport is nearby and planes are flying overhead, trains, buses, fire trucks. So you get the idea. So that morning quietness is, it's nice to really kind of dive into the solitude of that. Reading and writing. I would never have caught myself reading a book multiple times, let alone I've read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. On my third read of that, this book here, Twin Souls, which I've referenced a number of times. I'm on my second read of doing that, and I've actually got some little nuggets of wisdom to read to you guys too that actually talk about these changes as well. So meditation is another one. Back to the writing, journaling. Love it. I highly recommend. Get these thoughts out of your head on paper. It's magical. It's just like it takes the power away from them, regurgitating in your head down through the pen, pencil, whatever you may use, and get it on paper. Seems to be really helping. Meditation is another one. When I started out doing it, I seriously couldn't sit still for 30 seconds. Now, I bet I can get a good 10 to 15 minutes probably out of it. It's a muscle memory thing. It's like working out. Muscles aren't built on day one. You gotta really stick with a practice like that to shut the noise out. And one neat little thing, just listening and feeling the breath going into your body is a great way to shut off the inner dialogue. Nature. Highly recommend getting out in it as much as you can. I went outside last night, just walked around in the grass barefoot. Hopefully my neighbors didn't see me. They probably thought I was losing a marble or two, but I don't care. Be mad at me. But yeah, getting outside, just observing. I think the medicinal factor for me is when I'm out in nature, I realize that life is a lot bigger than me, that there's more behind it. And it's a really settling aspect for me to just kind of remain in a nice, calm state. Speaking of calm, much calmer. If you go back to my first videos, Kevin was a little angry back then. It's evident. It's evident. But the practices that I've just mentioned, man, it's like less cursing. My volatility, me reacting poorly to situations has lessened to an excellent degree. How people are responding to me has been great. The level of comfort and their energy, and just me emitting whatever sort of energy I'm emitting has been a welcome change. Welcome change. Been dealing with conflict so much better. So yeah, that's a great one. Vision. Now, what do I mean by that? I see a plan in my life now. Something I really never thought would be a possibility. I've never been a major goal setter, writing things down on paper or anything like that. So to be able to get my head out of the past and now started about things out of my control, and perhaps getting visions into my head of things that I do have a little bit of control over, that's been really cool. When you really couldn't see a future before and now you can, it's a pretty cool shift. It's a pretty cool shift. And spilling over into that, the mental clarity with the meditating and getting out all the old garbage, setting down the old bags of life. Man, oh man, like it really helps clear up the head. And on this journey, a clear head is a welcome gift, because if you were anything like me, there was a lot of noise going on up here before, a lot of noise. And so to have that quiet, peaceful, and don't get me wrong, you're going to have days. I had one yesterday. It was just a heavy energy day for me. There was a lot going on in my head, a lot of old memories. some anger, some fear, but this morning I feel refreshed and present. So there are going to be days like that. You're going to have storms. Got to weather those storms. And the last one I'd like to talk about, and which has been a popular topic because it doesn't sound like it's really talked about a whole lot, and other people have brought this up in the comments section, and that's the celibacy aspect of it and the meaning behind it. Now, just based on what people are saying, it sounds like they're having similar experiences with it as I am, but I'm just going to tell you my experience with it. Now, first of all, you're looking at a guy that used to have an incredibly high sex drive. My relationship with my twin soul, we had an excellent sex life. Like, it was with her, and I'm sure a lot of people out there would agree, with your twin, it's just different. It's electric and magical and magnetic, all rolled into one. Never felt anything like it, to be honest with you. And this is somebody that's had quite a few partners before. But nothing has matched that. To spill into one of the choices why I'm celibate is, from an energetic perspective, I'm still, and this might take criticism, but I'm still hanging on to that energy, and I'm not going to settle for less than that, I guess, is a way I'm looking at this. It was such a beauty and such a romantic and I talked about a calming experience that, again, I can't compare to any other partner I've ever had. And that's not to say that sexual experiences were bad or good or bad before. It's just I lack the desire to be promiscuous where I'm experimenting with people anymore, because I'm so protective of the energy inside of me. I don't know where it's come from, but I can only attribute it to the shifts that I'm feeling, the energetic shifts and, the changes in my life, that things are just going to be different from here on out. And I'm 100% fully present and fully okay with it and not apologetic. I take some shit from my friends about it. Not necessarily, they don't give me a hard time because people listen to me and believe in the reasons as to why, but, oh, you need to get out there and hook up and you need to get out there and date. No, I don't. And I'm not doing it from a place of stubbornness. I'm also not doing it directly waiting for somebody. It might have subtle undertones about that, but it's not about that. It isn't. The other aspect of it, which I believe the discipline part comes into it, is not masturbating. And now the no masturbation part or seed retention started over with me. And if there's a few videos back where I talked about a kind of full-on tantric experience I had with my divine ex, except in the energetic form, and was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. I've found conflicting information. Again, do what works for you if you're on this journey of celibacy and not masturbating. But some people talk about releasing after a while. Fully on board with that. Some people talk about retaining it for months and months and months. Fully on board with that. This is a you do you process, and there is no one size fits all type of attitude with this. I don't believe. At the end of the day, we're all, very emotionally different, I suppose, depending on backgrounds, where we've come from, how we've grown up. But again, ask yourself. You have the inner knowing to dive deep within yourself to get the answers you're looking for with this. It took me a while to catch on to that concept and believe in it, but much like the video that I added to the link where I talked about the guru bowing in surrender, during that surrender, I'm actually having a kind of conversation with myself. That inner guru of yours is there to guide you as you begin to elevate your trust of it and elevate your trust within yourself to know that you have the ability to make the right decisions and empowering decisions. So, again, this is a what's going to work for you journey, and nuggets of wisdom all over in the comments section from people that have been in this far longer than I have. And I am incredibly grateful for that, because as with the celibacy topic, it has absolutely taken off. People felt really, I suppose, isolated, if not maybe embarrassed to some degree. I don't know, to not really talk about it or have an outlet to discuss it. Where this is open dialogue right here. At the end of the day, we're all in this together. This is the journey is about the individual to discover themselves, but it's also to meet all of our other twin counterparts that are not energetically directly connected to us and help elevate all of us. It's a teaching ground of a new way of thinking, in my opinion. Like that's the direction we're really going with this, and the bonds that have been formed just in the comments section alone of people resonating with this. It proves that. I mean, how the hell could we all be going through the same thing at the exact same time? How could that be possible if it wasn't a much larger picture than what some of us are giving credit for? And you'll see a couple comments from people in there that don't understand the journey, and that's because I don't think they're experiencing it yet. They might be experiencing something or resistant to it, I guess, in some aspects as well. So again, these are all things that have worked in my experience with this thus far. I'm a little over 4 months into it, so very early still. And I am very malleable. I'm going to change things up along the way, but that's the point. That's the point. It again is a process of what works for you. Similarly, though, there's things that I really think you probably should do, like cut the drinking out, cut the drugs. I think those are two huge ones because the mental clarity here needs to happen in some way, shape, or form. It allows you to maybe separate those negative looping thoughts and help really dissipate them out. And, as a guy that used to drink a lot or drink way too much and smoke a lot of weed, those two things alone really diminish mental clarity, in my opinion. But again, it's a you do you process. I'm just doing what works, or I think what works for me the best. So, love you guys. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for the subscribers. Let's change the frickin' world, huh? Let's change some people. I appreciate all of you. Love you. Later.